Hi there, you're listening to Lee from the Plump DJs, and this is the Liverpool Connection podcast.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. I'm your host Daz. This is my football and music episode where I bring on a musician to talk about football and music. Very chuffed to have this guest on today. As everyone knows, I'm a big house music fan. I don't really like to put genres on stuff, but if it's good, it's good. And this lad has been a part of my musical landscape since the late 90s, and had an amazing career, and then went away for a little while. So we're going to talk about that. He's back, and he's back with a bang. It's Paul Davis, better known as Circulation, and he's an Arsenal supporter. So we'll also get into that. Paul, welcome to the pod, mate.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm going to start out Arsenal. Why Arsenal?
Pretty much all my dad's side of the family is Stoke Newington, so they're all Arsenal fans. So that's pretty much it. Now they're from North London. I live in South London, but yeah, they're pretty much all staunch Arsenal fans from my dad's side of the family.
With Arsenal, though, I mean, because you're around the same age as me, so that's when Arsenal were actually doing
decent.
Who was one of your favourite players back in the day?
I used to go, like, when they were 20 years ago. I used to go, and I would say Vieira, Petit, Henry. I mean, and Tony Adams. Shit, that he was class. I mean, I remember seeing some of the things he did. Mugging strikers off, and yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. But I used to go when they were in their heyday. I mean, I thought they were going to have a little bit of a comeback, but not to be at the moment. Not that I follow it too much. I'm not on it now, but I thought they were going to do well this year, but they've slipped up.
Yeah, well, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
I'm fine with that. But yeah, I mean, I had a good chat the other day, because I've been to Highbury so many times, and I really do miss the old grounds. I mean, I understand, capacity with Spurs have a brand new 100 seats and stuff, but there was nothing like Upton Park for West Ham and Highbury. You felt like you're right there on the pitch.
I was at the clock end when we won the double, and it was the year of the Invincibles, and we won it, and the whole stadium, the stand where people, it was moving up and down. It was absolutely crazy. That was an experience for sure. Yeah. But the new grounds, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know whether they have so it's all about capacity, isn't it, and more money.
Shiny new toy. That's what it's about. But the football back then was,
more gritty.
Yeah, you could tackle. And just because I'm a Liverpool supporter doesn't mean I didn't like certain players as well. Tony Adams was a bruiser.
Yeah, I mean, Keown was crazy. He's definitely got something going on. But I mean, I do watch football. Not a lot at the moment, but I mean, they all feign injury, but we'll get that out the way. But I tell you, there is so much skill there now. I mean, some of the passing, and I can appreciate that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is. They're proper athletes now.
Yeah, well, it's played now at such a pace.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Back in the day when a lot of players used to smoke and drink, after the game. I mean, it's so mad. Like, I remember 2005, Istanbul, Liverpool, AC Milan. There was an AC Milan player, a sub, who was actually smoking during the game. I mean, no chance now. They're like thoroughbred horses.
Yeah. I mean, I went to see. I remember my dad taking me to Fulham to see George Best. I mean, I'm approaching like another 2 or 3 years. I'm 60, so I was back then. I see some of the real old, and it was a different game then. I mean, the pitches. I mean, God, in the winter they're covered in sand, and But now it is they're thoroughbreds. Yeah, that's the proper. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you just have to find that fine line, though. I mean, once in a while, I'll see somebody put in a really good tackle, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, be lucky to get away with it though nowadays, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. You can't do what you used to do, and like, I think watching football today, it is amazing to watch.
Yeah,
The,
yeah,
the rolling over 10, 20 times,
yes,
or getting hit in the head. Like, come
yeah,
on, like,
yeah.
come on, lads. It's got to stop, and I think the referees should be stopping it. It just seems so detrimental to the
Well,
game.
the best referees are the ones that kind of let it go. But I mean, I think they're judged as well what they kind of can what they can do. Kind of, there's only so much they can do, and I think that they're under kind of people are watching them and seeing as he made the right decision. And when it goes to VAR and oh my God, and he's out like that much, well, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I
Don't
mean,
even get that right sometimes.
well, I mean, you don't know if you've scored the goal or not for a
No.
couple of minutes, and I mean, watching football is all about reaction, and you look a bit silly if you're jumping up and down for a goal, and then they go offside, or there was a foul here, or yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why it takes so long. Rugby, it takes less than a minute to get these decisions right or wrong.
Well, they've got that pretty much
But,
now, haven't they? Rugby.
yeah, and I just wish there was more of like we could hear the ref and VAR making the decision. The fans, I think, would appreciate it more going through rather than waiting 4 minutes for an offside to be offside or not. I think we all watch football for the enjoyment, and sometimes the enjoyment's being like sucked out of this game that we all love.
Yeah, yeah. I tend to agree. You know, I would.
But I hope, for my sake, for this season, that Liverpool stay above Arsenal, and we
Yeah, I kind
win
of.
trophies.
If I'm going to be honest, I'd rather Man City win it, but they got no chance. You know,
Well, you never know. I never count out City though, but I just can't see City going
I,
on a
I
long,
don't think.
long
I
run.
don't. Yeah, I don't think they're going to come back from this, are they? Really?
I think it's between us and Arsenal. So
Well, not. Yeah. What about Nottingham Forest though? They're kind of.
I know they're sneaking up, and I'm
They're
just
there, aren't they? They're there or thereabouts.
yeah. Well, they're second place, no third place. They've got no European football, and they're playing the football that the manager wants, and there just seems to be no barrier for them.
They might do a Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, they could, couldn't they?
Look good. How do you feel about
Well, I'd feel horrible, wouldn't I? I mean, I,
that?
I want us to win number 20, just to stick it
Yeah,
back
well,
down.
you've had too many anyway, so you got to, let somebody else have it.
I can never have enough, mate. Can never have enough. Um, Obviously, I want to talk to you about your music and stuff.
Mm.
So, Circulation started with you and Matty
Matthew.
Jackson.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I had a record shop in Kingston, which is just outside London. It's funny because I was DJing in Tenerife years and years ago, and I came back from there, and I decided to open a record shop. This would have been in probably 94. And we were going to open it. I always wonder because I found a unit and it was next door. It was in the arches next door to Heaven, in the like the Embankment, Waterloo way. But we went for Kingston because it was local, and I always wonder what would happen if I'd opened the shop there. But anyway, that's just kind of yeah, that's just wondering what if, what if. But anyway, so I had a record shop, and yeah, Matt was kind of, he had his studio, and then we kind of got together on a couple of projects which really didn't work. And then because he was working with different people, we had a label that went through Intergroove, which we done about 6 releases that didn't really work. Anyway, so I'd always kind of been into Carl Craig, that kind of vibe. And then I said, look, we need to kind of, do some stuff like this. This is what. So the first release, Green, it was, yeah, and that just kind of sent it on our way. So it was a funk loop from Stone Time, which we halved. Well, Matt halved, to be fair. And yeah, and then we kind of we just I come up with the name Circulation, and then at that time, if people are asking you what you're playing, if you was a DJ, you'd show me. But it's the green one. It was the red one. So I just thought just an easy way of, and that kind of caught on, apart from, some of the music, obviously, it was all about the music. So, yeah, so we've done pretty much like 40, 45 12s and 2 albums. And back in the day, I mean, we was, you could sell a lot of 12 inches vinyl because it was the only medium you could get that kind of music. Well, most music. And it's kind of funny because it's not gone full circle, but I was between Christmas and New Year, I was around a really good friend, friend of mine, and he has 2 daughters, like 22 and 19. And I was talking to the 19-year-old about music, and she said, oh yeah, me and my boyfriend really into music, and they really like the old Marshall Jefferson stuff. And I was like, wow, really? And then she said, yeah, we just want to DJ on 1210s. We want to play on 1210s. We don't want. I was like, wow. And that's from a 19-year-old.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, wow. So that kind of not blew me away, but I was like, well, it is going. It's almost going, not going back to vinyl because it can't do. But the last 2, I've done a couple of remixes lately, and then both of those are coming out vinyl only, which is, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
So is your background like your influences and roots in like disco and funk?
Yeah, 100%. And a little bit of electronica, like back, it was it was all the American funk and soul, Fatback Band. You could go on, and there was some British acts. Level 42 was a big influence on me, and then Human League. But if music's good, it's good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like art. You either like it or you don't, and it's all subjective. You either like something or you don't like it. Doesn't mean to say it's good or it's bad. It's subjective, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's the thing with genres, especially places like Beatport like to put genres on every damn stuff out there. Deep house, then there's deeper house, then there's deeper house,
and there's deeper, even melodic house than the melodic house.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
It just should put in 2 different categories: shit and good, and that's it.
Yeah, that would kind of help actually. You probably
it would. Yeah, it'd knock off about 2 hours of my life every single week.
Because I kind of, I don't really, I play, but not a lot. It's kind of, I do my music, I ride my motorbikes, and I do bits and pieces, but I kind of just trying to find new music. I'm like, oh God, really? And then I've got like a few friends, and I'm like, what have you found lately that's really good? And they'll send me like 20 tracks, and I'm like, oh my God, is that it? And I'll find 2 things that are really good that I like. So but that was the thing about DJing. I mean, I yeah. I mean, it's difficult now. There's so much music out there. It's free. You know, it's for free, and it
But but a lot of it, you know, in these genres, all sound the same. Like it's just color by numbers, and there's not many that actually like come out the woodwork and grab me. You know, it hasn't, because I've been listening for so long. I know a tune like in the first
yeah
minute, you know, and a lot of them, I'll listen to it next, 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 next. It
yeah
just doesn't jump out at me, and I don't go for the bangers. I mean, anyone can do that. I like to dig, and I think that's one of the biggest things I really do miss about vinyl is going down to the record shop
mm.
and digging, just digging and digging, for a few hours. Even if you find one, you've found that jewel.
Yeah. I mean, we're going back to the shop. I mean, we used to have A&R guys come in, and they're like, "What's I remember having Kenny Dope the Bucketheads, and and a guy from Positiva came. I can't remember who it was. It doesn't really matter. And we had it on Henry Street, and we're like, this and this and that was an A&R guy, and then they signed it. I'm like, but we done, we had 3 or 4 A&R guys that used to come into the shop. Right, what are you selling at the moment? I said this, and this, and pretty much they'd go on to sign them, and I mean, and they would be big tracks.
Mhm.
But now, I mean, I think I was listening to, I'm not going to name drop, but I was listening to a show that Steve Parry did a couple of months back, and there was a track, whether it's by Glitch called Golden or Golden by Glitch, and I was like, wow, if this was around 20 years ago, it would have been a massive track, like huge. But now it just gets lost in the ether. And there's so many really nice tracks that you hear that just get lost.
Mhm.
I've made a couple of things that have come out on people's labels, and I was like, if this was around 20 years ago, it would have done right. And it's just another digital track, isn't it? That's what it is. You know?
Well, for you, I mean, putting out, you know, plethora of tracks with Matt. When did it, because again, you were kind of labeled one of the pioneers of tech house.
Tech house, yes, we
And,
were.
and again, that's trying to define you. And I don't think circulation has a
No,
define.
I mean because we were with I remember because it was like we did an interview with Mixmag at the time, and uh it was like, yeah, the pioneers of tech house, and there was ourselves, there was my friend Justin and Clive from Peace Division, who I still like. Justin, I spoke to him today, I still keep in touch with him. And yeah, who else was there? There was Terry Francis. And Terry played a completely different sound to what we were doing. But people always try to pigeonhole you. You're going to do this. This is what you do. You know. So,
It's proper cringy.
yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was house or techno. That was it, and it was easy. House was kind of, you could have some quite tough house, or it could be quite fluffy and noodly. And techno was techno. You could have some, melodic techno, or you could have some driving techno. That was it. And it was pretty easy, you know.
Well, I think your tracks appeal to everyone. I mean, you've got Sasha playing them. You've got Carl Cox, Lauren Garnier, and
Yeah,
even Breaks DJs playing some of your stuff. And I think that's what's really cool about your music, Paul, is it again defies a genre. It's whatever you feel like it is. I,
exactly. And you might feel, you know, some days you might want to, you know, you write stuff depending on your mood. But I always have like not a formula, but I kind of always have to have, you know, so I have my elements to it. So, you know, it might be a more driving track, but it has to be nice. I can't, you know, I can't do those big, really, you know, heavy, dark kind of tracks. You just sitting there writing it. I can't. It has to be a little bit. I like it a little bit fluffy and nice. You know.
So what happened with the break? You know, because for me, you know, you were prolific putting out
Yeah,
tracks.
well, me and Matt kind of stopped working together. I thought it'd run its course between the two of us. To be fair, we didn't fall out, but it'd kind of run its course. And I thought, to be honest with you, once Final finished, I thought, well, this is it, you know. And then I kind of, yeah, kind of got married, and then had a kid. I was still doing bits and pieces, but just playing around, tinkering, not really doing anything. Learned to skydive, which was amazing. So I was doing that for 5 years, and then all of a sudden, like everything's moved on a little bit. I was speaking to my mate Justin from Peace Division, because I was using when we were working together, I was using Logic. And then he said, oh, you should get Ableton. I said, really? I said, it's like learning something new. He goes, no, get it. You'll enjoy it. And then we had lockdown. And then I thought, oh, okay, I'll get Ableton. I was like, oh. And it was the reverse to Logic. It was like upside down. But it made sense. I was like, oh, right. And then I just started writing tracks. And then, you know, slowly. And I thought, oh, do you know what? Some of these, because I judge a track for me personally, and I'm more like most people should be or would be. I'm more critical of my own what I've written, which you should be. I mean, that's just natural. I mean, for me, and I'm listening to some of these tracks, and I'm thinking, wow, actually they sound okay. And then I spoke to Justin because he's still engineering. I said, can I come in and do some mix downs? Because I mean they're there, but you know I was more of a producer than an engineer. I mean, you know, I couldn't. So yeah, we mixed some tracks down, and I started putting them out, and I was like, oh yeah, actually they sound pretty cool. So that was it. It was just like everybody else. It was lockdown. Got back into it. You know, I wasn't in the relationship that I was before. You know, I had more time on my hands, living alone. So yeah, just got back into it, and yeah, really enjoying it. But I go through fits, and you know, I kind of this time of year I'm writing loads now because it's dark. You just want to be at home. So I come home and write track. You know, start writing some tracks. It's nice.
Well, how is your studio time then? You know, because I've talked to some producers and they treat it like a job, 9 to 5, you know,
Nah.
and then they come home and have the family time. Is it just when you feel inspired?
Well, yeah, I will. Sometimes I'll boot up the laptop and I'll work like 3 or 4 days. Then sometimes not for 2 weeks. I've got to be into it, you know. I'm going at the moment. I'm on a little run, so I'm making quite a bit, and it's nice. But then you write 5 tracks, and then unless you're really super talented, you can write 5 or 6 tracks, and you'll get one that you're like, wow, that's really good. But I kind of tend to finish everything.
Yeah, that was my next question is do you usually like work on a few tracks, get them completely finished, or just use little bits from them and come back and finish them?
No, I can't do. I can't have. I've got like on my desktop. I've got 10 tracks at the moment, but they're all pretty much done. They need some tweaking. But what I can't do is I can't start another track until I've got like a basic, like an arrangement done. I can't think right because I played a piano riff the other day and I was like, oh wow, I've got to get this. And I got it down and I thought, but I was in the middle of another track. And I thought, right now I've got to finish this track before I get onto that. And then it's 90%, 95% done. You can always keep tweaking and tweaking, but then you'll be there forever, So at some point you've got to say, right, we'll just get it down. It's kind of done. But yeah, generally I won't start something until I've finished some. I won't have loads of unfinished products. They're pretty much done.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy, because again, speaking to some producers, they're like, yeah, I've got 50, 60, not finished tracks in the locker. I'm like, how do you keep up with all of that?
Yeah.
Finish 10 of them and then I just don't understand. And then like you said, there's some that just put out tracks to put them out as well. And that's when, I don't know, I think some producers just throw them out there, see what.
Well, you just add into the chaos. Yeah, it's just adding to the chaos. There's so many tracks out there.
And not very well produced either. That's the thing, yes, everyone can get Ableton and get these plugins, but then they don't know how to master them. Like Justin has the golden touch. He masters and engineers a lot of tracks that but a lot of these bedroom producers, they don't know how to do that. So the bottom end sounds just terrible, but it's on Beatport because it's easy. It's on Bandcamp because it's easy to put out. There's no filter to these tracks. And I really appreciate when producers take the time to get them mastered properly and get them engineered properly.
Yeah, pretty much. Justin, pretty much up until the last couple of months, he's done everything. And then the last couple of things I've done, I've done my pre-masters myself because I've learned how to get it sounding right. And the biggest compliment, I did a remix for Chris Scott, which you very well know, for his label, 12 Point. And he's, that is his background. He's a, producer and a really good engineer. And it was actually a remix of one of my friend's tracks. And I sent it off and I was really it's great. Everything's perfect. Mixed down is great. I was like, oh, wow, okay. But I learned a lot from Justin, because Matt, who I work with a lot, obviously, he could play. He was really, really musical. And Justin, because I did like a load of stuff with him. I used to work with him doing like some ATT stuff, and we used to do bits together. But he was all really sample based, very sample based. He used to fuck samples up, and so I kind of learned a lot from him as well. So I think both of the influences that it's a little bit of both. I could play a little bit, and then it's just about messing around with samples as well.
I mean, I would love to be in a room just watching Justin and Chris do what they love to do, because I only know Justin through my mate Pete Bones.
Yeah, he's in on Monday actually. He's going in to see him on Monday.
Is he?
Yeah. I spoke to Justin today.
But like Chris, obviously with Forensic and 12 Point.
Yeah, that production of Forensic's amazing.
Yeah, incredible, and still stands the test of time. All the Echo Men stuff he put out, Lexicon Avenue, still sounds so fresh, but so clean today.
Yeah.
And I just wish half the people would put that much effort into, the music that they do. And it's just, again, I call it throwaway music. If I put on a track and it's already sounding, just not very well mastered. It's in the bin.
Well, the master I got back from Sash's, they were really good actually. Really, really. But I think they're from Masterpiece, which have been around years. But yeah, going back to Chris, so he's launching a vinyl only label. So I've just done a mix for him on that, which he said it's an amazing track we sent me. Really down tempo. So I've just done like a more up tempo version. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like we spoke, a few weeks ago about getting older and kind of slowing down on the BPMs. Like now it's like 110, the slow chugs.
Chugging.
It's like I said, your tracks are just amazing to me, and they really do. Like I like stuff that makes me
It has to have emotion,
makes me think
yeah.
of different things, but it brings an emotion out, and that's what I like about your music and other producers' music. Is it's got to be emotional for me. It really has. Or what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, I I have to. I don't know what it is, but I have to have pads in it. I can't write a track if it hasn't got any pads. Sorry, but that's just me. There's plenty of other people that do without. So if you're putting a set together, then you're gonna have track with pads, aren't you? But I personally, I don't think I've written them. I may have, but I've got to have some niceness in there. I really do. Melody, something nice.
Well, I mean, you've been on so many labels. I mean, Hooch Tunes, Bedrock, obviously. You know, it, it's got to feel
Yeah,
good.
I've done quite a few actually. Just
You're doing all right for yourself, mate.
well, yeah.
I'm sure it's good to know that people like labels enjoy your music. Like you said with Mango Alley, Australian label, they're
Yeah.
putting out some quality stuff as well. The
Yeah.
Australians seem to be knocking it on the head this past year.
Do you know what the best thing about it is when you get like a message. I get a message on like Instagram from somebody that I don't know, and it's the best thing. Just I love your music, and that's the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just somebody you don't know appreciates what you're doing, and that I was like, oh, it's just so you get some really kind, nice messages from people.
As long as you get the kind ones.
Oh, I've had a couple of I've done a mix from it was a mix for Celador. I done it, yeah, I've done like an hour mix for Celador, and somebody put something really like random and shitty on. I'm like, why would you even bother? Come on, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I just don't.
No, but why even
Yeah,
like? Yeah,
why do you take the time to like
yeah, exactly.
tell somebody?
Yeah,
I love the ones like I've read like on Instagram and Twitter. Somebody will say, you know, a brand new track comes out, and then they'll go, "Well, I think you should have done this." It's like, what? Like, this isn't your track. Like, they did that track the way they feel they should have done the track, but you should have put more hi hats in here, something here. It's like, shut up. Like, put your own damn track out then.
yeah.
Put it out in the world and let everybody listen to it. I just don't understand. You don't like something, don't reply.
Well, that's it. I mean, I'm too old to bother about negative comments, and I haven't, I haven't had that. Well, I've had that one, but I like this goes over the top of my head. But like, why? I mean, why would you even bother? It's keypad warriors, isn't it?
Well, that's the world we live in. The social media aspect of things has changed. I think the way this world is, because it's easier to get behind a keyboard and talk shit.
Yeah.
But you've also got the social media aspect as well. If you don't have this many followers, you're not booked as a DJ, which I just find so bizarre.
I know. I mean, just as I mean, you know, I DJ'd everywhere. You know, doing every 2 months at Fabric. You know, like here, there, and everywhere. And then we kind of stopped. And then that's when so you know, my social media. I don't do it. You know, I've got Norman looks after it for us, but you know, but you're right. Unless you've got like 100,000, then promoters aren't interested.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy. And when I watch some of the videos, and it's all 20-second drum rolls, and I was, oh my god, really? You know. And it's funny. I was in Ibiza. It was a friend of mine. We went there. Last year we was there. We went to a couple of parties, and we went to Pasha, which was like, oh god, it was just so busy. But I listened to Dixon; he was amazing.
Mm.
And we got there too late because we only got the last hour. But he was really good. But so we ended up going to a defected party, which normally it's not my kind of thing. But Harry Choo Choo Ramirez was playing. Oh my god, proper old school mixing, you know, no filters going on. He built energy through the next track, you know, like back in the day where you'd have like turntables, you'd have to make energy through your next track coming in. And he was amazing, you know, really good.
Well, it's like, again, going back to, if the music's good, let the music do the talking.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. There's too many messing around with the effects unit. And
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants that 5 minute. You know, they want to be into that big breakdown within a minute. There's no build up. There's no foreplay. It's just
exactly.
it's straight in. And it's funny because I was talking to Enzo the other day, from Plastic, and he was talking to Digweed, and Digweed was saying, look, I'd rather the tracks be longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd rather them be, you know, 7-8 minutes. You know, 5 minutes. You know, it's all about a journey, really. And then, you know, with vinyl, you couldn't loop it for 2 minutes. You just had the bit of vinyl. So everybody's making 7-8 minute tracks because you had to have, you know, rule of thumb, we had 2 minutes in mixing, you had 5 minutes in between, then you'd have like a couple of minutes outro. That was kind of rule of thumb, unless you're Jeff Mills.
Yeah. Well, I think we talked about this last time as well. You know, you're doing the 8 to 10 minute mixes still, which again I love.
Yeah, I've got them down to, I think, I've got them down to 6 or 7. But the remix I just did for Chris is which is coming out on vinyl only, so it's 8 minutes. It's got a 2 minute intro. You know, it's just like, yeah. So I'm looking forward to see how that does. Actually, it'd be like quite interesting to go back to vinyl.
Well, I mean, you know, we live in a society where people's attention spans are a minute, 2 minutes. I think it just depends on what kind of music you're really into. I mean, if you're into EDM, then the 2 minute track is for you, you know. But if you're into more of like the progressive house and techno side, the mixes are longer. And that's the whole thing of a DJ, Paul, is like, you know, you take 2 records and you make a third record with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the whole idea. And I think the vinyl, you know, I miss it. I miss going out and watching somebody just work those turntables to death. I really do. I mean, technology is good. You know, I like the James Bealers of this world that just can have all these things, and you're just like, holy crap, how did he, you know, do all that? But then there's a point where I want to hear the records themselves play without any effects or
Like that. the flanger and all that. I was like, oh God, really? You know.
Well, how was your residency at Fabric? I've been to Fabric many times, and
Yeah, we played live there, and then we used to play every. It's I don't know. We played there every couple of months always in room 2. Never did the main room. Yeah, so yeah, it was always really good. And then at the time we were managed, well, not managed, but we were looked after by Seb Fontaine's wife, Vanessa, and so we played for them at the Cross, and then after that, well, we didn't really get invited back to Fabric because back in those days you could only do one place in London. It was all very political. But I mean, one of the things I will remember till the day I die is doing 6 hours of Passion in Buenos Aires. Amazing, amazing people, amazing club, amazing country. And just I think I was playing a mixture of CDJs and vinyl at the time. It's 6 hours, and I come off, and I was absolutely drained. But what an amazing experience, You remember nights like that, and then you remember the nights that nobody shows up. Why did I even bother coming?
But playing, I'm sure you played more better shows than you did shit ones.
Yeah, we had some good times.
I've heard nothing but high praise for everyone that plays in Argentina. I mean, it just the crowds are really, really up for anything. And I mean, you've got with Brazil, Warong Beach. That's Sasha and Digweed's probably favorite club. It's a place that I definitely want to go check out. But
Argentina's amazing. I mean, just the country itself. I mean, Buenos Aires is they call it, it's like Spain. It's like its motherland. That's what they call it. And back in the day, it was like going to Paris. It's the architecture, yeah, it's beautiful, amazing country, and it's so different from the rest of the South American countries. Completely different.
Especially
European.
Especially if you like steak as well, I've heard.
Yeah. But the people are so friendly. I mean, generally, everywhere you go, people are, more really friendly,
So DJ wise, I mean, do you play much anymore?
Not really, no. I kind of more into producing. I mean, nobody's knocking at the door. So I kind of, I'll do little bits and pieces with friends and, but I kind of, yeah, I mean, I'm nothing, I don't really play too much anymore. But we'll see what happens this year. But
yeah, I mean, the more tracks you get out, you'll be getting those phone calls asking for your Instagram account.
Yeah, we'll see.
How many followers do you have, Paul? I have 10.
I'm on a minuscule 1,250 or something like that, I think. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy.
It's a funny world we live in where, like there was another one where this lad had, quite a good amount of following. He wasn't getting booked because a lot of his stuff didn't have like DJ pictures on there. So they wouldn't book him. I'm like, wow, is it down to like DJ pictures now on your Instagram?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's it, and the thing is, I'm not, you've got to have a little bit of presence around you, haven't you? You've got to be, I mean, there's some, you've got to be attractive. I mean, it's just that whole, I mean, I'd like to play at a club where people just didn't. So a guy approached me the other day, and I was at a thing that Sasha was doing, and I was talking to him, and he had a little party for like 300 people down on the coast, and he goes, "Oh, I want you to come and play." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "It's a small room, great sound system, 300 people." I was like, "Well, yeah, that sounds perfect," And he says, "You can play what you want."
Well, that the people are there for the music. Like they have Joshua Brooks in Manchester. I know Sasha played there and Digweed's played there, and it's a smaller venue. And I much rather do that than be
100%. Yeah.
kind of be lost in 5 to 10,000 people. I know like Argentina, Cordoba, they have like 15, 20,000 people.
Yeah, I played at some big parties out there back in the day, but they were never that big. I remember we played the first Creamfields there, and I was playing. Well, we finished off doing a live thing at the end on the main stage, but I DJ'd at the Bugged Out 10. And I was late because there was so much traffic, and I got in, and I like surfaced, and there was like 2,500 people. But I mean, it's to do 15,000 people. It's insane, you know.
Well, I mean, I would think it's a little harder to connect with people.
They've all got their phones out anyway, haven't they?
Yeah, most of them. And I was listening to, and I don't really listen to him that much, David Guetta. He actually said something that resonated and probably hit the spot where he said, right now, there's 2 types of DJs. There's an entertainer and then there's a DJ. And I'm like, well, which one? I know which one you are. but that's how it's gotten right now. You know, you've got the entertainer that comes on, either it's a pre-recorded set, they're throwing the damn hands in the air for, you know, an hour, but they're touching the decks, or if they are touching the decks, it's just a big, you know, drum roll after drum roll after and you
snare roll,
you just know who the proper DJs are, and I just feel sometimes we're in this like dream world. Well, I feel like I still keep going back to the same older DJs because I can trust them.
Well, look at Weatherall.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, he wouldn't be playing in 15,000 people arenas, would he? And he's probably one of the best DJs ever. You know, put him up there with Sasha. You know,
100%. I mean, like, I never got to see the Governor, and I wish I had, because you know, I've always loved his music. I have always loved his productions, his remixes, because he could remix anything from rockabilly to punk to ska to, you know, Primal Scream, obviously. I mean, he did it all. And I actually, after his death, I started to get on YouTube and try and find as many mixes of his as possible. And my favorite one is from my hometown, Liverpool, where he did like a 4-hour set, and it was just the most amazing music I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, we used to go to Sabres in London. You know, the guy used to work in the shop, used to work with me. We used to go down there every week, and then he done Love from Outer Space. Used to go there. That's still going on.
Yeah, I hear that. But
Phil Johnson.
What I loved about listening to him was nothing was going over like 115.
Yeah.
But it still had you dancing, still had me like tapping my toes.
Well, it's house music. It's just a rhythm, isn't it? It's all not monotonous, but that's the kind of vibe. It just goes on, and it's just the groove. It's just about the groove, you know. It's not about a big old snare roll and there we go, and lots of white noise and anyway, we're just standing old now.
Yeah, we are. But what's coming up for 2025? I mean, obviously, I know you've got some gems coming out on different labels.
Yeah, we touched on the Sasha thing. We've got something coming out next month on his label, and there's another release planned for him. But I don't know when that's released. And then I've got another project that I'm kind of doing, which is more down tempo, which I've sent you a few little bits, a few snippets, which I think I'm going to put out on vinyl, but I'm going to go under it's just going to be called Grinditch. So it's just a really random down tempo, and it's just going to be vinyl only, like a 8-track EP, just vinyl. And that's what I'm hoping for 25. So I've pretty much got that, I'd say 80% done. And funny enough, I had two really nice tracks, but Chris from Lexicon Avenue said, look, can I have those? So he's got them. So it's back in the studio to kind of try and do some more bits. So
You
yeah,
can't
I think it's all about vinyl with 25, you know.
Huh?
I think it's all about vinyl in 25. I've just done a remix that's coming out. Eagles Parade, like Tonto's Drum, which is a track from what 2000, I don't know, 1998 back in the day. So that's coming out. They're re-releasing that on vinyl. So I've just finished a remix of that, which is sounded nice. So I think 25 could be vinyl year.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Well, if it's digital, it gets lost, you know. You know, I could do. I think the amount of tracks, and most people in my position would be the same. You could probably do with the amount of tracks I've written. You could do like a 5-hour set, no problem. You know, it's crazy, but it's just nice to have something. People that it's that you know, it's there. It's like it's tangible.
Yeah, it's physical. That's the thing, you know. I mean, we growing up, you know, I'd buy albums and the gatefold, you'd open them and you'd read every single word that was on that album. But it's the artwork as well that comes, you appreciate it. But and the brand new, there's nothing like, and I've said it before, you know, taking off the plastic.
Yeah, the smell of vinyl.
Yeah, the smell of vinyl. It is. It's hard to explain to somebody that's like just never really touched vinyl. These youngsters that are all digital, you just like there is nothing like the smell of brand new vinyl.
Oh, exactly.
They'll probably go, "You fucking weird, you." But that's it. It's like buying a brand new car and the smell of a brand new car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's back. It's coming back 100%. You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to replace. Obviously, it's not. You know, it's not going to replace digital, but it is definitely coming back. More people are into it.
It's just great to know, you know, that you're still doing stuff, and you know, I had Enzo on not too long ago, and it's great to have Plastic Fantastic back in this.
Yeah.
Because again, I grew up with a lot of the tracks that came out, you know, from his label. So it's great. And then, you know, Chris is now with the sister label of 12 Points, putting that out. It just seems like more people are going back to kind of the old school producers.
Yeah, I mean, Enzo, I'd spoken to him for years, and I ended up doing a remix for his first release back like for Sakura. So that was good. Yeah.
And he's, you know, doing a lot of stuff, Enzo.
Yeah, he's doing loads, And he's getting it a lot of plays as well, Digweed and Sasha and people playing it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's getting the big boys playing him. So
you
as well, mate, you know, you as well. I think 2025 for you is going to be a big one. And, you know, I hope you get back on the wheels of steel one of these.
We'll see.
You know, because it'd be really good to hear you. And hopefully, you know, when I'm home, I'll call in, you know, and hopefully Liverpool will be lifting the Premier League trophy. I'll throw that in your face. And
we'll see. Yeah, hopefully not. But
there's a lot of twists and turns to go still.
I mean, it's just over halfway in it, so we'll see.
Football's football, but you know,
it's a game of two halves, as they say.
That's certainly, you know, the two biggest loves, you know, football and music and football, you know, go hand in hand. You know, I just want 2025 to be a great year for both football and music for me. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing where this year takes us. I mean, it can't get any worse than, you know, some of the shit that's happened in 24. So, but yeah, I wish you all the best, Paul. And, you know, again, I really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate the invitation.
If you want to check out Paul's stuff, it's on Beatport, Spotify,
Bandcamp,
which is a big one because most of the money goes to Paul, and that's how it should do. You make the music, you should get the money, not all these record labels and executives that drive around in their, you know, nice cars and live in nice houses and, you know, pretty much don't do fuck all, which is sad, you know, it's a sad state. You make the music, you should get the money. That's how it should be. It's been an absolute pleasure, Paul. Definitely stay in touch. Thanks everyone for listening. Please like, subscribe, put your notifications on, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.